Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dailey, a young adult science fiction and fantasy author, and today we are talking about the writing tenses. Writing tenses communicate an event's location and time. Did it happen in the past? Is it happening now? Or will it happen in the future? Past tense. This is stating something that happened in the past. The narrator is actually retelling their story from a more current place and time. Present tense is stating something that is currently happening to the character. And future tense is stating something that is to come in the future, something that will happen to your character. When deciding which tense to use in your novel, think about their merits. I'm not going to talk about future tense extensively here. You don't often see novels that are written completely in future tense. Usually it's something that you use in the novel when it's needed. Choosing to write an entire book in future tense is more of a stylistic choice. That's a decision you make at the beginning of writing a book. It's something you choose to play with. Writing in future tense will make your book feel more dreamy and can also be very jarring to readers. That might be something you're trying to accomplish if you're playing with the style. Present tense has virtues of immediacy, with the action taking place at the same time the narrative is. Neither the characters nor the reader knows what's coming next. Present tense tends to feel more cinematic. It intensifies emotions, and it works best in stories with a shorter time frame. It also works best in stories with a lot of action, so the readers don't feel trapped in the character's head for too long. However, present tense can feel more jarring. It can be hard to shift from the pressing current moments to another event in time. And there are less narration tricks that you can utilize, like jumping into a different character's head. Plus, you run the risk that a lot of readers don't like present tense. Usually it gets a bad rap from authors who haven't used it well, but because of that, a lot of readers will actually go to a bookstore, open a book, see that it's in present tense, and put it back on the shelf, which is so unfair because there are so many great present tense books out there. If this is something that you're looking to work in present tense, go for it. Don't be afraid of readers not picking it up because of that. If it's a medium that you feel like you want to tell your story in, go for it. I, for one, love present tense. I have no issues with it, so you do you, boo. But it is something to think about. Past tense is much more common, which means that it's invisible. Readers are going to settle into your story much more quickly. We speak this way, always referring to things that we did in the past. We went here, we saw this. So it ends up feeling more comfortable. It's also more flexible in the sense that you can easily skip through or fast forward through time. For example, Jimmy had a quick breakfast and ran to school. It's easy to do in past tense, and a little bit more difficult in present tense. That's because present tense is usually playing out in real time. There's a great book out there that plays with present tense and skipping through time and does a really good job at it, which is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein. You should definitely check that out if you are thinking about using present tense. I know we're talking about past tense, but you should check that out if you're thinking about present tense. However, one note on past tense that I've heard complaints about is that if it's in past tense, your reader knows your character is going to survive the encounters. They live to tell the tale, right? Especially if it's in single POV. At least, it's far more likely that they're going to survive. Looking at you, George R.R. Martin. It's a good idea to mix tenses in your writing to get variety, but be wary of the events and times that your characters are experiencing and talking about. And never switch tenses in the same sentence. Always be clear when you're doing so. I found this quote by Ursula K. Le Guin that beautifully demonstrates why we use different tenses to make that variety. It all rather sounds alike. It's bland, predictable, risk-free. All too often, it's McProse. The wealth and complexity of our verb forms is part of the color of the language. Using only one tense is like having a whole set of oil paints and using only pink. In English, the tenses can take on four main aspects: simple, perfect, continuous or progressive, and perfect continuous. Simple tenses are used to convey action in the time that it's narrated. Past simple, James ran to the store. This is just events that are completed in the past. It's what most novels are written in. Present simple, James runs to the store. These are for facts that are not affected by time. Future simple, James will run to the store. This is for events to be completed in the future. Perfect tenses are used to show actions that have taken place or will take place using the word has before the verb. Past perfect. James had to run to the store. This is used when a narrative is talking about an earlier event. Present perfect. James has to run to the store. Events began in the past and are expected to continue, or to emphasize those past events in the current moment. Future perfect. James will have run to the store. Used to describe events completed between now and a specific point in the future. As in, by the time the race is over, James will have run to the store. Continuous or progressive. This is used to describe ongoing or continuous events, or events that progress through the story. Past continuous. James was running to the store when he broke his ankle. This is used for ongoing past events. So everything, the running to the store and the broken ankle, have happened in the past. Present continuous. James is running to the store to get me some pickles and ice cream. This is for currently ongoing but temporary actions. So James is running to the store to get pickles and ice cream, but eventually that will end, right? It's temporary. Future continuous. James will be running to the store a lot during my pregnancy. I'm not pregnant, by the way. This is just an example. This is used to describe events that are expected to continue over time in the future. Perfect continuous is used during expected continuing events using the word have, has, or had before the verb. Past perfect continuous. James had been running all day and needed a rest. This is used for events that began, continued, and ended in the past. Present perfect continuous. James has been running all day and needs a rest. Used for events that started in the past and continue into the present or were recently completed. Perfect future continuous. James will have been running around all day by the time he gets home. This is used for events that will continue up to a point in the future. That's it. I guess I just ended it. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today, I guess. Okay guys, that's all I have for today. Hopefully that answered your questions about tenses and helped you pick which one you want to use in your writing, and also went over some really technical academic stuff that maybe you didn't ask for, but I gave you anyway. I will see you guys next time. See you later. And there are less narration tricks you can utilize. You can utilize. Oh, yeah, you can utilize the different narration tricks.